Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Well, this week we're going to continue our stories about properties that I had bought when I was in the business before. And today's story is called Robin's Challenge. So, as you know, these stories all have a couple things in common. We bought the properties with no money down. There was no banks involved in any of the financing. And each one had a story. Now, I had gotten to the point of buying houses with no money down that I was buying them just pretty much at will. And my brother-in-law, whose name was Robin, would ask me about it periodically, and I would just off of the cuff say, well, come over one Sunday, we'll go buy a house. Now, a little backstory. The first house I bought for no money down, he and I, well, no, we didn't buy it for no money. Yes, we did, but I had to pay closing costs. We were supposed to buy together, and I did all the negotiating. I set the appointments, I did everything. And on the day of closing, he no call, no show. So on the fly, I had to come up with both of our share of closing costs. I was not happy. So, I would just say that periodically. And I said it with a little bit of relish, I'm embarrassed to say, because I was successfully buying real estate and he was not. So one day he came over, he and my sister and my mom and dad and me and my wife, and we were all sitting around the living room, and he thinks he's going to get me. And he says, hey Brian, you know how you were always saying, let's go buy a piece of property? I said, yeah. He said, well, let's do that today. I said, okay. It was a Sunday in the morning when they were all there. So I went and grabbed the paper. And when I went through there and I picked out 2 or 3 possibilities, and I called them and only one of them answered the phone. So it was, we set the appointment for an hour or 2. And we pulled up to this little house. Now this was a nice little house. It was in a decent part of town. It backed up to a park. And the unique thing about this property was there's about a 2-block area, and it's the only area in the country where a certain type of squirrel lives. Kind of cool. So anyway, I met the guy there, and he walks in, and as soon as we get to the door, I knew something was wrong. Because he pushed the door open and he waited outside. So we went through. Now, I will never forget this house for several reasons. Number one, it was a little 1-bedroom house, and I had never been in a 1-bedroom house before. Very small. The ceilings were kind of low. Now, at the time, I was 6'1", a little over 6'1". So for me, 7 foot would be low ceilings, okay? And it had a really nice front lot. It had good eye appeal. The whole thing was nice. And so we showed ourselves through. And as soon as I walked out of the door, I knew I had a deal. And you know how I knew? Because I looked down on my pants, and from the knees down, I was covered with fleas. So all of us got outside and started jumping around and swatting fleas off our pants and brushing and swapping and jumping, and we made a huge spectacle of it. So we got somewhat satisfied. Everybody went back to the car except me and Robin. And I asked the guy, was a single guy, I said, so what's the story here? Why are you selling? And he said, well, I just finished medical school and I'm starting a job up in another city, and I need to get rid of this place immediately because I've got to be up there tomorrow morning. And I said, oh, well, that's kind of rushing it, isn't it? He said, well, yeah, it is, but that's got to happen because I've got to be ready to go to school. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, because I believe he was asking $18,000 at the time. I said, I'm going to give you your $18,000. I said, but I want to structure the deal in a different way. We'll amortize the 18 years over a 20-year loan, but then I want to reverse it and pay it in a higher tax bracket. That way it'll reduce my cost basis on the house, increase the interest I'm paying on the house, and you'll still get the same amount of money. And he said, I don't care about the taxes. See, back then, even on rental property, now I'm told you can still do that today. I don't know that. But I do know back then that whatever you paid interest on any property, you could write that off your income taxes. So instead of paying $18,000 at 12 or 14%, I paid, I don't remember the numbers, 10 or 12,000 at 21%. That way I could effectively, my cost basis was very, very low. But he got the same monthly payment. And I got a nice big tax write-off. Because one of the rules I remembered when I was learning how to do this was that there was 4 concepts in every deal, and nobody gets all 4. In order for it to be a win-win deal, you got to have each person gets 2. And I'm not sure I remember all 4 of them. Down payment, the interest rate, the term of the loan, and something else I don't remember. But anyway, I got 2 of the 3, or two of the 4. He basically got his asking price. And of course, when I presented the deal, he said, sure. I could have told him anything, and he just said, sure, let's do that. And I said, well, I can't get this done by tomorrow. He said, don't worry about that. I'll have my attorneys draw up the papers. I'll have them overnighted to you. You get them tomorrow, sign them, get them back to me. I said, okay. I said, I'm not putting any money down on this. I said, this is strictly going to be between me and you, and you're going to finance the deal. And so he said, oh yeah, I got it. I understand that. I said, well, attorneys get a little nervous when we talk about no money down, so I just want to make sure there's no misunderstanding. He said, nope, we're good. Congratulations, you just bought a house. And I said, well, congratulations, you just sold a house. And we both left, and I went home, and I did crow a little bit, I have to admit. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it on such short notice, but we made one contact, and we made a deal. Now that house turned out to be an okay rental house. It looked good, it showed good, it was in a good area, but like I said, I didn't have any cash, so we had to try to remodel that. We tore all that nasty carpeting out. We fumigated, we exterminated, we did everything we knew, but every once in a while you'd still see a couple of fleas jump up on your pants. We did what we could. Well, that's the story of No Money Down, Robin's Challenge. I hope you are enjoying these series of stories from the rough and ready days of the 1980s and buying real estate. It was a fun time, it was an exciting time, but it was also a risky time. So if you enjoy these kind of stories and the content of this channel, please subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit the little notification bar. That way you'll know every time we drop a story, you'll be notified. You have yourself a great day, a great week, and happy investing.